Check, check, 1 2 1 2.
That was it.
So I took it off the start. I put it on this thing here.
Do it again. Do it again. Do it again.
Check, check, 1 2 1 2.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, I took it off the, put it on the Razor Collar Pro. So I guess we just, now if we don't,
Show me that again. Razor collar.
so right here, I took it off the Scarlet, put it on the Razor. So now I think that's the regular thing. So I'll turn up the volume on the speaker because it's still low, but at least it's volume.
I mean, the volume in here. Testing, testing. 1 2 1 2. So the volume going on YouTube will be fine. Okay, so I'm gonna mute it. Testing, testing. 1 2 3. Okay. So I'm gonna mute it until we're ready to go. We got 22 minutes. page. Okay. I'm gonna test it again. I'm not sure about my shot. Let me see. Let me get my phone too, so we can test the audio.
Water's in there, but they just went in, so okay. Actually, there's a couple of freezers.
Each new day with Zing is a new opportunity to own the morning with flavor built.
He said they stuck in bad traffic, they're not gonna make it on time.
Who's that?
Y'all just go on Suki Chai.
Who?
Chai, y'all go.
Shia.
Yeah, it's really.
Oh.
You want to see him on Sabine? Want to come over?
I invite her every time I come.
If I stop you off.
Hey, Yahawah Shema Shai Baraka. I'm just checking to see if the audio is coming through. Is the volume good enough? Yeah, I'm on the Rally Durham now, but it's like a delay.
But like I said, like it's low. It's like in the background.
Yeah, okay, so I don't know.
Nah, you can't hear it.
Can't hear it, right? And I got mine on max. I still can't hardly hear it at all.
You just shout. Just be loud. Use a cat voice. Mic check.
Wow, that's great. Hold on a second. I thought we had it.
Yeah, it's just low. It's very,
Could you,
very.
on the red box, could you see if you can turn it up a little bit? That's the outgoing, right?
All right, turn them up.
Testing, 1 2 1 2. That's not hitting.
Try it again.
Testing, 1 2 1 2. Testing, 1 2 1 2.
I don't want to kind of mess with anything else.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what else we can do.
Check 1 2 1 2.
That's better.
Okay,
That was better.
All right, so right here.
Did you hit? It was a little bit better.
All right, so I took
Yeah,
it
that's
off
what I
the-
was trying to do.
Yeah, I took
before.
it off the automatic. So I just
Testing, 1, 2, 3. A little bit.
Go with that.
A little bit.
Check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
It's about the same, man. Anything? Check. 1, 2, 3. Check. 1, 2, 3.
Well, what is it? Is that secrets? Oh, no. I appreciate it.
Officer Yahawah.
Sure. What? Hey, Shalom, we just having a problem with the live audio. Like, it's low. And we done tried everything to get it. Was fine at one point. Like, it's coming through on the. Go ahead.
It's
It's okay now?
I mean, loud is probably gonna get, but it's not great.
All right. The water stuff. All right, the water. All right, Salakia for that. Salakia. All right. Salam, Lord of Christ. Seagram, you're making me happy. I'm with that. You're making me happy. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and try everything. The audience, which we don't have anybody in yet, is going to be a little disappointed. But,
Yeah, I see. So you can go. It's
where you see two people at? Oh, okay.
that higher attention.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I don't see no. Okay, we don't have nobody in the comments.
Check.
I didn't mute myself. Okay, let's get it. All right. Okay, shalom to Israel. Yahawah Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Barakatam to all the brothers. Yahawah Shema Alathan Bahashem, Yahweh Shai to all the sisters. We are the Isupk, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yahawah. Since 1969, the Isupk has been teaching the truth of the Bible. And that truth includes the fact that so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, and so-called Native Indians or First Nation people are the true Jews, the Israelites, God's chosen people, the future rulers of the planet Earth according to the Bible.
Damn right.
Right? The Isupk has been and always will be the home of the truth, because this is the origin of what is known throughout the earth as the Hebrew Israelite document. All the systems. This is the origin of the doctrine that is known as the Hebrew Israelite doctrine. The Isupk under Commanding General Yahawah is not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group, sect, or religion. The Isupk stands alone on its own merit. And like I said before, we teach the truth of the Bible, the whole truth and nothing but the truth of the Bible. Right? Okay? So I'm also 1,000 Youngers are here in beautiful Durham, North Carolina. And I'll be teaching a class tonight. Tonight is the Wednesday night law class, right? So we always teach matters concerning the law, everything in the Bible, really, everything about Israel and the truth is pertaining to the Lord, right? So I got a pretty good subject matter for you today. And but before I get into that, I don't want to waste too much time. I just want to talk about two things that I saw in the in current events. In current events that I saw on television over the last week or so, that I just wanted to mention real quick. So today, it was reported that Donald Trump, in his first year in office, made $2 billion in 1 year. In his first year, that means in 2025, he made $2 billion. That was reported on his income report. $2 billion. He made $1.4 billion off of cryptocurrency, which is basically a scheme to get people to invest in something that doesn't really exist, and then you take the interest and you put it in your pocket. That's how it basically works, right? So he made, while we're getting poorer by the day, and when I say we, the only people that we're really concerned about is so-called black, so-called Hispanic, and so-called First Nation people.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? As we get, even though it affects the whole of America, the USA, even the whole Western Hemisphere, to be, honest, right? So he made $2 billion in 1 year, right? Because the policies and the moves that he makes are all profit driven. Like everything that he does, he has to profit from it. And that's what's going on today in the world of politics and finance. That was very important. It was very revealing that this man, in 1 year, the president, he made more money in 1 year than all the presidents in history combined.
Yeah.
He made $2 billion in 1 year. So all of his policies, you understand, are geared toward him profiting. Every deal that he makes in the Middle East, his two sons too, that's just his income. His two sons as well are billionaires too. But their report hasn't come out yet. So the hypocrisy of the Trump administration is glaring, it's destructive, it's evil. You understand what I'm saying? And we're always the scapegoats for everything that's going on. What do I mean by that? Now, I'm going to give you an example right here before we get into our topic tonight, our subject matter, right? So, he came out with a new policy for South African immigrants, white. It specifies white South African immigrants, which he's going to allow at least 10,000 more of them to come into the country with special benefits. You understand what I'm saying? Like he's giving them the welcoming mat. He did this in the same week where the special work orders for Haitians, what's it called? The temporary protection statutes for Haitian workers. Oh, there's over 350,000 Haitians in America have been deported over the last few years. Understand? So just let's do the math real quick. You take out 350 Haitians, and then you add at least 10,000 white South Africans. So in effect, all of the finance was created by the hard work of those Haitians is going to go to the white South Africans. They're going to set them up lovely. I don't have the figures with me because I just saw the report, but there's an actual, I think it's a presidential decree where he's going to allow these white South Africans to immigrate at the same time that he's kicking out Haitians. Their temporary work status is over. It really expired in February. I think it was February the 3rd of this year. It expired, but there was some other group of Haitians that was under a temporary protective statute that allowed them to work in America temporarily. And so he's going to remove those protections. You understand? And at the same time, of course, he's deporting so-called Hispanic people. And all of the wealth, and you got to understand what goes on with these things. All of the wealth, like that group of Haitians that was in that town in Ohio, they actually saved that town.
Right.
You understand? Remember, the workload or the workforce in that town in Ohio was riddled with drug abuse and all kinds of stuff. The workforce was unreliable. And then they started hiring those Haitians. I can't think of the name of the town right now. And the whole company and the whole town or a small city turned around because of the Haitians. Because first of all, they're hard workers and they don't have high rates of drug abuse.
Right.
Where the community of that town, specifically the white community in that town, had rampant drug abuse to the point where they were hiring those Haitians. So what I'm saying is this: all of the contribution that those Haitians have made, you understand, all of the profits from their labor and their hard work is going to be given to those South Africans for the most part. In effect, that's what's going to happen. You understand? Remember when they brought the Ukrainians over here?
Right.
You understand? They gave them Social Security numbers. They gave them what do you call those places that you rent? B&B, Airbnb.
Yeah.
They put them up in Airbnb. They gave them Social Security numbers. They hooked them up. You understand? And this is the same thing they're going to do, something similar for these white South Africans, where if I could find an article, the white South Africans themselves are complaining that Trump is let me see if I can find it real quick. If that Trump is complaining, hopefully I can find it. That the white South Africans are saying that Trump is overstating their plight. And one of the reasons why he's allowing them or making it easy for them to come over here is because he says they're being oppressed by apartheid. Imagine that.
Yeah. Right.
So let's see. Okay, here we go. Damn it. I just had it. Okay, I'm gonna read this for you real quick, because this is ironic. It says, refugees settlement program targeting white South African farmers and Afrikaners, stating they face racial discrimination and persecution following earlier arrivals. The administration authorized admitting up to 17,000 Afrikaner refugees, prioritizing this group while strictly limiting the broader global refugee program. In other words, everybody else is being restricted, but these are being encouraged to come in by a specific number, right? Even though they're a minority population, right? Now, the policy's executive action allocates significant refugee slots specifically for Afrikaners or white South Africans, classifying them as victims of unjust racial discrimination. Now, it was something here that I wanted to read. While the general global refugee applications have faced severe processing bottlenecks, the targeted program has been expedited for processing for qualified South African applicants. There was a part, I done lost it, where the South African government is protesting, saying that the United States is actually lying on the condition of white South Africans. That's what I'm looking for right now. That Trump just made it up.
Right.
That's what they're saying. Hold on a second. It was under the same. Well, anyway, okay, this is it right here. I got it.
The white ginseng.
Mm-mm. I'm one paragraph where that South Africans were, I think this was it.
If farmers with U.S. refugee status.
The white South Africans mainly descended from Dutch settlers, meaning Germans.
Right.
Okay, but this was. I can't find a paragraph that I'm looking for. Well, Salakia for that, because the white South Africans were protesting what Trump was saying, because what Trump is overstating the plight of the white South Africans. Like, they really don't have it that bad, you know what I'm saying? And they don't want the backlash from what Trump is doing to affect their country. And I know it was it because I was watching, I was reading it. But anyway, maybe they took it down. Well, anyway, with that being said, maybe they took that portion down. It was a paragraph where the South African government was protesting what Trump was saying. You understand? They wasn't going to stop the South Africans from coming under this special visa program, but they were saying what the United States was stating about their condition of oppression over there was overstated. That's what they were saying. And that was the part that I wanted to read to you. But at this particular moment, I don't have time, and I'm going to just give you that information. But the hypocrisy of the United States, you understand, is glaring. At the same time, they're kicking out the Haitians and the Mexicans, who are two of their best groups of labor in America, proven, right? They're kicking them out, and they're bringing in these South Africans and giving them benefits. They haven't worked 1 hour. They haven't paid a nickel in taxes.
Right.
So this is the obvious racism of America. You understand what I'm saying? On display here. And over the last, I don't know, I think it's between 5 years, the last 5 years, they kicked out 350 Haitians. 350,000 Haitians were deported over the last 5 years. You can look it up. And at the same time, the protections that some of these Haitians had who were brought over here just for labor, Trump is causing that to expire, and they're going to get kicked out too.
Right.
Understand? So those are the things that I saw, you know what I'm saying, in media. There's so many things going on in the media and in the world today, and most of it is not good, you know what I'm saying? But things pertaining to our people, it's our job as priests and prophets of the Lord to bring them out and to point them out. You understand? And stand against these things. You understand what I'm saying? The hypocrisy of Trump making $2 billion and kicking out part of its, the best part of its workforce, or one of the best parts of its workforce, is insanity in reality. It doesn't make sense for the country. It doesn't make sense, period. It's just evil and wrong.
Right.
Understand what I'm saying? That's why the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. That's it. Right? With that being said, tonight our topic is going to be, now I'm going to tell you something. I just made up this class today. I just like, once in a while, I just get like a spirit comes on me, and I just get a idea just pops in my head. You know what I'm saying? And I just made this class up today. Now, the topic tonight is Yahawah, the Most High, the Supreme Scientist. The Supreme, Yahawah is the Supreme Scientist. You understand? Because, like, when we look at what they call religion, right? The science is like the opposite of religion in perception. Meaning, like, when people think of the Bible, they don't think about science. You understand what I'm saying? They don't. Like, the world has been trained to believe that science is in opposition to the Most High's creation, or what the Bible tells us about the creation. And tonight we're going to help prove that that is total nonsense. It's not true.
Right.
And that the Most High is, in fact, beyond any shadow of a doubt, the supreme scientist, right? So we're going to get scriptures, right? And if you have any questions, let me see what I did. I keep hitting this damn thing. Okay, there it is. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Okay, so we're going to get into it. Give me Genesis, the book of Genesis, chapter 1. We're going to start at the very beginning, right? Give me the book of Genesis. All right, the water. My Shar. We're going to read about 7 verses in here, but separate. And we're going to build a case to prove that the Most High is the supreme scientist, right?
Right.
Choir ball, I want you to give me Romans 12, right? Give me Romans 12, right? So Romans 12, I love that scripture because we're going to read, let me get there too. We're going to read, you hold what you got there,
Come.
my Shar. But give me Romans 12 and 2. Because this is our job, basically, in a nutshell, or part of what we're supposed to do. Read verse 2. Read verse 1 and 2, Baba Kashan.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service.
So our reasonable service is first we got to show up. We got to show up and do work. That's reasonable service, right? And this is a mercy from God, from the Most High. You understand what I'm saying? Like, none of us deserve this truth. It is a mercy from the Most High. We didn't earn our way in here.
Right.
We just heard the truth and we accepted it. You understand what I'm saying? Christ says, my sheep will hear my voice. So with that being said, we're the sheep because we hear the voice. And we responded by showing up and sitting in these classes and learning.
Right.
And going to camp and doing services. You understand? That's Christ's sheep that he's talking about. Reasonable service. There's nothing that we do in here that's unreasonable at all. You understand what I'm saying? So this is it. Read 2.
Verse 2. And be not conformed to this world.
Don't be conformed to this world, man. This world is evil and hateful, man. Don't be conformed. Don't conform your spirit and your life to this world. No. We have to live in it, but we don't have to be of it. Understand? Read on.
But be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
You understand? You have to get a new mindset. You understand? To really see this world for what it is and to separate yourself from it. That's what holy means, to be set apart or separate. So we have to be separate with a new mindset that the ISUPK provides for us in abundance.
That's right.
Every day. Under Commander General Yahawah. Read on.
Okay. That ye may prove.
What?
That ye may prove.
One more time.
That ye may prove what is that good.
What is that? Good? Read on.
And acceptable and perfect will of God.
Understand? Our job is to prove the Most High gonna do what he gonna do, man. We don't have to worry about doing what the Most High is gonna do, man. But with our reasonable service, we have to prove that the word of God is the truth, man. That's part of our duty, man. That's what it says. Understand? That ye may prove, you have to get a new mind, first of all, that ye may prove and perfect will of God. You understand? Acceptable and perfect will of God. You understand? I'm doing a class coming up on the will of God. You understand? And he wants you to know what his will is. You understand? And it's in the Bible, right? So let's get back to our topic tonight.
Okay.
So we're here to prove the word of God, that what the Most High has said is true. And the truth in the Isupk upholds every single word that the Most High has given us in this Bible.
Damn right.
You understand? So now, give me Genesis 1 and 1.
Okay.
The Most High, the supreme scientist. Let's get it.
Okay. Book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Verse 2. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the water.
You understand? The Spirit of God is the truth. You understand what I'm saying? Everything was created in truth.
Yeah.
That's the Spirit of God. You understand? So now, it says, and the earth was without form, right? So what we know is that we're talking about a state before solid, gas, right?
Okay.
That came together, which is scientifically a fact. Everything was without form until it was formulated by the Most High, right? That's what it's telling you. Like the earth was without form, but it has form now.
That's right.
You understand? How did it form? With a purpose, right? So now let's skip down to verse 6.
Come. Book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 6. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the water.
You understand? So I'm going to break this down, and then I'm going to show you that later on in the scriptures, he gives us more information about this. The perfect, that we have to prove the perfect will. You understand? Of what is good of God. You understand? That's what we got to do. Right? So, and God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the water. So between two conditions of water or liquid, he put a barrier. That's the firmament. And that firmament became the atmosphere of the earth. And outside of that atmosphere became what is known as outer space, which is just like water. Because when you go out there, it's weightlessness.
Right.
Understand what I'm saying? In any gravity or energy outside of the Earth's atmosphere is created by motion. You understand? This is the Most High, the supreme scientist. I'm just getting started, y'all. Trust and believe. Read on. And he divided the waters from the waters. So there's a barrier or a firmament between the waters of the earth, because what is it? Gas.
Right.
It hasn't formed yet. And as we know, 2/3 of the earth is water. Right? So now, right, there's a barrier between the waters. The waters of the earth contained within the barrier and the water of what we call space, or the void of space. Now, everything that we're reading here in Genesis, the Bible is going to expound on it as we go further.
Okay.
Read on.
Okay. Verse 7. And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament.
You understand? These are the gases. You understand? Without form. He divided them first. Right?
Okay.
Read on.
Okay. Verse 8. And God called the firmament heaven.
That's outside of the firmament. Outer space. That's the barrier. It's called the heavens or outer space. Right? Read on.
And the evening and the morning were the second day.
You understand? So he did that. You understand? Because you understand, like, you got to understand, like, there's no time being measured. You understand? This is before time, because time is measurement of movement. You have to have movement to have time. To measure time, you need something to move. So this is before time. This is the Ancient of Days, before time. You understand, right?
Damn right.
Give me Ecclesiastes 3 and 14. And choir bar, get me Wisdom of Solomon 7 and 17. Ecclesiastes, the Most High don't get no credit, man.
Yeah, right.
I see these scientists out here talking about they know this, astrophysicists, and all of these different scientific groups of people who go to school for 20 years and learn things, and they think they know more than the Most High, and they want credit, and they didn't create a gnat. They didn't create a grain of sand, because everything within this creation is already made, and you can't take nothing out and you can't bring nothing else into it.
Right.
I'm going to show you that in the scripture. Give me Ecclesiastes 3 and 14.
Come, it's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 14. I know that whatsoever the Most High doeth, it shall be forever.
Whatever the Most High created, you can't remove it. You could, some things are changed chemically. Stars dissipate or explode, but that energy goes somewhere else. It's not removed from the creation. You understand? Read on.
Come. Nothing can be put to it, nor anything taken from it, and the Most High doeth it.
Understand? These scientists and these people who creating all of these gadgets and all of these, what do you call these things? Gadgets, and there's another word, devices. You understand what I'm saying? They're making it from the material that the Most High provided for them. He's the creator. He's the scientist.
So real quick, what about what's your opinion on like when they clone meat and like when they clone animals and whatnot? Like what is that?
Okay, so cloning is a process, right? Where all you're doing is you're recreating cellular growth.
Okay.
You understand? So the cellular and the the DNA is there. They've just made a new process of growth outside of the normal or natural path of growth and creation, which is from a seed. We're gonna get into that later.
Okay, come.
Right? So they take what they're doing is making, like, they call them clones. And that's just what they are. They're not a new creation. They're a replica, a repeat of something that's already there. Same cell structure.
Okay.
They just add new cells. You understand? Like an embryo. Like they take the embryonic materials and they put it in all kinds for medicines and stuff.
Okay.
To regenerate cellular growth. You understand? So all of these things, what I'm trying to say is that everything that they have, the Most High provided for them. And there's some ungrateful bastards.
Right.
They don't give the Most High no credit. So here in the ISUPK here in Durham, North Carolina, we're going to give the Most High credit for everything that he created in these 2 hours that we have. Because he's the supreme scientist, and I'm going to prove it. Understand? Give me what you got, Quiet Bar.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7 and verse 17. For he hath given me certain knowledge of things that are, namely, to know how the world was made.
You understand? So the Most High said he's giving us the knowledge of how the world was made.
Right.
That's what we're reading in Genesis. Remember, I said he was going to expound on it. He tells us a lot. But they try to make it like science is some kind of new field that they just created. And that they were going to discard the process that the Most High, created. The process of creation, they want to try to discard it as some type of accident. So read it again, brother. We're going to read it.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7 and verse 17. For he hath given me certain knowledge of things that are, namely to know how the world was made and the operation of the elements.
Ooh-wee. When those elements were in a gaseous state, then they formed together and made solids. You understand? And one part of that solid became the earth, and there was a firmament or a barrier that kept it from the other parts of the universe, so that life can exist on the planet Earth. Read verse 18.
Verse 18. The beginning, ending, and midst of the times, the alterations of the turning of the sun, and the change of seasons.
You understand? So all of these things come together, you understand, because of his creation and his mathematics that he created. God and mathematics in the same sentence. I'm going to show you that not only is he the greatest supreme scientist, but he's the supreme mathematician. And I'm going to prove it to you. Understand? The beginning, ending, in the midst of times. Time began after he created motion and set creation into motion. That's when you can begin to measure time. That's why he's the Ancient of Days, because he preceded a period where there was no time to be measured. He's the Ancient of Days, right? And okay, read on, Salakia. No. Let me say one more thing. And the turnings of the sun and the change of the seasons. Just about everything in the universe travels in a cycle. The atom, you understand what I'm saying? The molecule, the planets, the moons, and the stars travel in ciphers. I want you to keep that in mind, because I'm going to bring this out in later on and explain to you how important that is. You understand? Because we just read in verse 17, for he has given me certain knowledge. He didn't give it to Young Nizam.
Right.
He gave it to everybody that hears his voice. It ain't mine. I'm just talking about it. You understand? For he has given me, meaning us, you, certain knowledge of the things that are, that exist. Read on.
Verse 19. The circuits of years.
You see that? The circuit of years. That's a circuit of years. Right? This is, way before Galileo and all of these Renaissance scientists. This is when Israel was living in tents. You understand? Read on.
And the position of stars.
The positions of the stars. The stars are where they are for a purpose. That's right. And we're going to read that too. They're not just there to, hey, that's pretty. They have a function, or what the Bible calls an ordinance, a duty in the creation. And you know what's amazing? He did all of this for you. You're the benefactor. We're going to get that too. Now, read verse 20.
Verse 20. The natures of living creatures.
Now, see, in science today, they go into all of this and they tell you all these things about nature, and you got all these nature programs. But the nature of an animal is what he does. Like, we know the nature of a lion.
Right. Okay.
You understand? We don't, we know the nature of a fish. He says the natures of living creatures and the furies of wild beasts. They try, let me give an example of what I'm talking about. They, like when the Bible says that of the woman's natural uses, that they rejected the natural use of a woman. And so what is the natural use of a woman? The best thing a woman will ever produce, ever, is a child. So the process of her having a child is her natural usage. It's not degrading her.
Right.
That's the world trying to degrade a marvelous thing. That's the world trying to degrade it. So animals' natures, we know their natures by what they produce and what they do. And a beast doesn't produce anything. He devours. That's what he means when he says, in the furies of wild beasts. They're here to consume. You understand? They're not here to eat.
Come.
Now, read on.
The violence of winds and the reasoning of men.
And the reasoning of men. The reasoning of men is scientific. The Most High created the reasoning of men. You understand? For men to have reason, to be able to think and figure things out. You understand?
Okay.
That's the reasoning of men. That is science. That's what he's telling you. Read on.
The diversities of plants and the virtues of roots.
You understand? I be reading stuff like this and I be like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Because he's explaining the whole creation to us. Everything. And we just getting started. Like the diversity of plants, meaning different plants. Of course, we know it's different plants, but different plants have different purposes, right? Different characteristics or properties. You understand? And the virtues of the roots. How important it is, because the plant grows from the root up. You understand? We're going to get the seed later on. You understand? Read on.
Verse 21. And all such things as are either secret or manifest, them I know.
You understand? So he's saying, you understand, that whether it's the basics of it, he knows. Whether it's a secret to other people, he knows how it works. And you're going to know better how it works as well. Because we have to not conform to this world, not to think like this world. Think in terms of the way the Most High wants us to think. And the way he wants us to think is displayed in the knowledge that he gives us. How are you going to transform your mind in the truth without the knowledge of the truth? Without the knowledge of God, without giving him the credit for the things that he's done. You understand?
Come.
Give me Wisdom of Solomon, my shah. Give me Wisdom of Solomon 13:1. And you get a Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 18. Baba Shah. If you have any questions in the chat, we can do that.
Come. Through the wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13, verse 1. Surely vain are all men by nature, who are ignorant of the Most High, and could not out of the good things that are seen known him that is. Neither by considering the works did they acknowledge the workmaster.
Now this heavy. I'm gonna hit y'all with two heavy verses right here, because these two verses is kind of heavy, right? It says, surely vain are all men by nature. You're naturally dumbass.
Right.
Meaning you don't have no knowledge when you're born. You don't know nothing. Who are ignorant of God. Don't know nothing about the Most High. And could not out of the good things that are seen know him that is. You understand? Meaning, even though you see all of the great things that the Most High has created, you still don't know him.
Right.
You don't still perceive him or give him the credit that is rightfully deserved. Right? And could not out of the good things that are seen know him that is. Neither by considering the works did they acknowledge the workmaster. That's the world. They don't acknowledge the Most High. They want to make a little boy into a little girl.
Damn.
Against the Most High, against nature. You understand? They don't see the beauty in the creation. They think the creation is some kind of accident that they can manipulate for riches. I'm telling you now, I hate this world.
Damn right.
Christ said, if you can't love God in this world, you can't. It's impossible. It's impossible. So I kind of love this world. I love God too. God loves everybody. You full of shit.
Right.
Now, Salaki, give me verse 5.
13, sir.
Yeah, 13 and 5.
Tell God. Book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13, verse 5. For by the greatness and beauty of the creatures, proportionably, but the maker of them is seen. Okay.
Now, for anybody that didn't understand that means just by the beauty of the creation and the things that God created, you understand, justifies who he is, makes you at awe of who he is when you look at everything that he created.
Damn right.
And we're going to get into some of it, right? But just the creation itself should tell you, you understand, how great the Most High is. It says proportionately. Like, the greatness of the Most High is based on a proportion, just on a proportion, which is the creation. That's just a portion of his greatness. That's what he's trying to say. And you don't fear the Most High? You understand? You should.
Right.
You should. Because the vastness of the universe is tremendously great. And here he is caring about you. He don't need you. He don't need you. We need him. He don't need me. I need him.
That's right.
He made everything. Wisdom of Solomon, who's holding it 19 and 18?
14 and 18?
Yeah, is it 14 and 18? No, it's Slock, it's my bad, it's 19 and 18. It's my bad.
It's the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 19 and verse 18.
No, I might have been right the first time. Sometime when I make my, hold on a second. That's 14?
No, this is 19 and 18.
Okay, hold on, let me get there with you. Hold on just a second. I did this class, I did it this morning, so I might have made a few mistakes. Wisdom of Solomon.
Yeah, it's probably 19.
It's a lot. Sometime my 19 and 18. Yeah, okay, that was it. I'm sorry, y'all. Forgive her, brother. Salakia. No sweat. Read on.
It's the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 19 and verse 18. For the elements were changed in themselves by a kind of harmony.
So the elements, remember, they were spread out and without form. And they came together in a harmony. You know what that's talking about? That's talking about atoms. Atoms make up elements. You understand? Little tiny subatomic, like, I ain't gonna say subatomic, but small particles called atoms make up the creation. So the elements were changed in themselves by a kind of harmony. Read on.
Like as in a sultry note.
Meaning a sultry is like a guitar. So like you change the note, or you fine tune the note and change the song thereby. You understand? It's like that. So like as in a sultry, notes change the name of the tune. You understand? Meaning you needed different elements and a different combination of the same elements to make the sun. You need a different combination of elements to make the earth. And the same elements that are in the earth are in you. The salt content of the earth is the same salt content of men. Because you off the earth. You understand? This is all science. But he's trying to explain it to us so that we can understand, and we know that the Most High is the creator. He gets the credit, man. He's the supreme scientist. Read on.
Change the name of the tune, and yet are always sound.
It's still sound. So if I use these elements to make the sun, it's always going to be the sun.
That's
Okay.
If I make it to make a star, it's always going to be a star.
Right.
The earth is always going to be the earth because that's what I formulated it to be. Same elements, same different song. You understand? Different thing or creation or part of creation, right?
okay.
Read on.
Which may well be perceived by the sight of the things that have been done.
You understand? Meaning that the creation bear witness to the creation. Like we see, we bear witness to the creation that these things came together. You understand?
Okay.
By a kind of harmony. Read on.
Verse 19. For earthly things are turned into watery, and the things that before swam in the water now went upon the ground.
Now, do you understand what he's saying there? He's giving you creation right there. Even the scientists today, they admit what? That life began in the sea and then moved to land. And this is in the Bible, thousands of years ago.
That's right.
Who you think you kidding with all this nonsense, man? They always say, oh, the animals was life created in the seas and then the animals moved to the land. Yeah. The Most High said that 1,000 years ago, 2,000, 3,000 years ago.
Damn right.
Before you scientists knew anything about it. You didn't know nothing that was under the water that you couldn't see. You didn't know nothing about how the things were created. But the Most High told us a long time ago. That's heavy. It says, for the earthly things were turned into watery, meaning the things of the earth, you understand, was evolving in the sea. You understand? And things that before swam in the water now went upon the ground. So they in science, there's not a scientist on the planet Earth that will say that life began on the ground and then went into the water. No. They say that life began in the seas and then moved to the ground. The Most High said it 1,000 years ago, before y'all knew anything.
Right.
You cavemen thought that the earth was flat. I got that in there too. We're going to solve that mystery. Oh, if you fly off, I remember I was watching this movie, it's called The Vikings, right? And they was afraid that if they sailed too far out, they were going to fall off the earth.
Right.
Because the earth was flat. We're going to kill that stupid argument about flat earth. That is the dumbest thing. I will never argue with anybody about it. If you think that the earth is flat, don't come talk to me about it, all right? But we're going to prove that, too. You understand? Now, give me my short 2 Ezra 4 and 7.
Come on.
Now you stay where you give me Wisdom of Solomon, choir bar 11 and 17. Give me what you got, my Shaw, when you get there.
Come on. Second book of Ezra, chapter 4, verse 7. And he said unto me, if I should ask thee how great dwellings are in the midst of the sea, or how many springs are in the beginning of the deep, or how many springs are above the firmament, or which are the outgoings of paradise.
So now, he said unto me, if I ask thee how deep dwellings are in the midst of the sea. This is talking about the caverns in the sea and the mountains
Right.
that are in the sea that no men knew anything about until the last 100 years.
That's right.
And how great springs are at the entrance of the deep. Meaning and they discovered this recently, that under the oceans there's springs of fresh water.
Right.
And there's another scripture I'm going to bring out about it. I think it's in Ezekiel. Well, I'm going to get to it. But you understand, like this knowledge, this science, you understand, is readable and understandable to the common man, right?
Come on.
And he just wants us to understand it. We don't need the mathematical formulas. We can get them, and when we're in our kingdom, we're going to have, unbelievable science. Because the scriptures say if we can do in our lowest state that we're in now, look what we've been able to accomplish. Imagine how good we're going to be when we're in power and rulership.
Right.
You understand? It has a little bit more. Read on.
Come on. Or how many springs are in the beginning of the deep? Or how many springs are above the firmament?
You understand? What's the flow above the firmament, out of space?
Right.
What's the flow out there? You understand? You don't know, but the Most High is telling you that it exists. You understand? He's telling us that this exists outside of the firmament, outside of the atmosphere. Or what manner, read on.
Or which are the outgoings of paradise?
You understand? Which are the outgoings of paradise. Meaning, the earth was made to be paradise. And everything that's within the firmament is part of the paradise, and it doesn't go out. It doesn't go out. The earth was made for paradise. The earth is a paradise. Look at all of these planets. Every time they find a new planet, they looking for life, ain't nothing. That's some dumb shit.
Right.
Like, I always this is my analogy of it. Like, I make the comparison of a man who lives in a beautiful place where there's fruit, food, everything that he could want. And then he takes up and go live up in the mountain. That's how they think. Like, you got everything on this earth. You don't respect nothing because you use and abuse it. I'm talking about the oppressor. Go ahead, brother.
The reason they trying to leave, you already know.
Go ahead, man.
They
You
trying
know
to
what
leave. They trying to run from what's coming. So that's why they trying to leave. We know it's a paradise, but to them, this is going to be,
I totally agree with you, brother. And along with that, when you watch their movies, right, they always trying to go to another planet because they know their own nature. They know that they're going to use up all of the resources. And they're going to pollute the earth, and they're going to need an escape. That's real tough. That's an excellent point because that's what they're doing. I'll be watching their movies, right? I don't really need to watch the whole movie, but I'll be watching the plot. And all of the plots are evil. All the aliens are insects. And it's game, man.
Right.
It's game. But we know the truth, right? We did.
Wisdom of Solomon 11 and 17.
Yeah, let's get that. Let me get there with you too. Wisdom of Solomon, you can start reading.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 11, verse 17. For thy almighty hand that made the world of matter without form.
So remember, the earth was void without form. And the matter are the elements. You understand? Without form. You understand? The almighty hand that made the world of matter without form. So he's expounding on what he said in Genesis, that the earth was without form. But he made it, he made matter, you understand, with molecules And then he made the world of matter that he created without form. It had to formulate. It had to be a formula. It had to be mathematics. You understand? Read on.
Wanted not means to send among them a multitude of bears or fierce lions.
Meaning everything is created for a purpose. You understand it? You know, like, meaning there's a proportion for everything. He could have made a whole bunch of bears and lions.
Right.
What we gonna do? We didn't have guns,
Right.
and they could have wiped us out. But he made everything by proportion. You understand? We understand where we're going with this? Yahawah is the supreme scientist.
That's right.
You understand? Go ahead.
If I may, proportion is purpose.
Yeah, proportion is like purpose. It's not the same thing, but okay. So the proportion, right? There's a proportionate amount, like the flies, right? I'm just going to use this as an example. If it wasn't for a proportion of birds that eat flies, flies would block out the sun.
That's crazy.
So he made the right amount of birds by proportion to eat the fly. To keep the flies, I went into my trash bin the other day after and it was 1,000 maggots at the bottom of that shit. I went and got my rodent range. But anyway.
Right. So is that the same as saying everything has a purpose?
Everything. We're going to get that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Everything does have a purpose. But it's proportion. Like Israel is the most highest portion.
That's right.
Right? So there's a portion and a purpose for that. Right? But we're going to get the whole brother. We're going to get there. You're getting ahead of the game there, young man. So that's it on 17, right? Now, give me Ecclesiasticus chapter 42. And we're going to start at verse 21. Ecclesiasticus 42 and start at verse. What verse is it? Ecclesiasticus 42 and verse 21.
Come. It's the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 42, verse 21. He hath garnished the excellent works of his wisdom.
Oh, let's stop right there. He has garnished the excellent works of his wisdom. Right? So when they garnished my check, that was a proportion of my check that was taken out for a purpose. Right? Matter of fact, Shaw, if you could get me the definition of garnished. Right? There's one definition that's going to explain this. So he has garnished the excellent works of his wisdom, meaning he's taken something out of that for a portion, for a purpose. Right? Bob the Shaw.
Okay. Garnish primarily means to. Garnish, to adorn, trim, or embellish.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, to embellish. You understand? To garnish is to make better, make it look better.
Come.
That's what embellishment means. Right? Read on.
Come. Merriam-Webster dictionary definition: garnish, embellishment, ornament, and used to decorate or flavor food or drink.
That's good. To decorate. Like the creation is a decoration. You understand? Part of it is a decoration. It's beautiful when you look up at the heavens. It's beautiful when you see some of the sights on the earth. Right? Read on.
3, to take something as a person's wages that is in the possession of a third party in payment of a debt by court order.
Right, so that's not the garnish what we're talking about. We're talking about the garnishment of the heavens, of the creation. How it is like it's art.
Come,
It's beautiful.
to first.
Yeah.
Come,
So let's get back to the scriptures.
come. And he is from everlasting to everlasting. Unto him may nothing be added.
You understand? We read before that in the creation, when he created everything, there was nothing that could be added or taken from the creation.
Okay.
Right? So all this is, what we're doing here is we showing that the Most High is the supreme scientist. And we're just trying to, in our little small way, give him credit and make the world know that the Most High is aware of scientific workings, because he created all the science that is existent.
Damn right.
Period. Read on.
Come. Neither can he be diminished. And he hath no need of any counsel.
You understand? Now, we read in the Bible where the Most High sits with the 24 elders and they counsel. He doesn't really need them.
That's right.
He just like to hear the different ideas and the thoughts, man. You understand? He doesn't need counsel, man. He created the counselor, man.
Right.
How the counselor going to tell him what to do? Understand what I'm saying?
Good question.
Read on.
Come. Verse 22. Oh, how desirable are all his works, and that a man may see even to a spark.
You can see all of the beauty of all of his works, even to a spark. Read on.
Come. Verse 23. All these things live and remain forever for all uses, and they are all obedient.
So it says these things live and remain forever. You can't take them out of the creation. You can't destroy anything.
Mm-hmm.
You can transform it, just like a human, right? You can destroy a human body. It's going to go back. It's the same elements. It's going to return to the dust, and the spirit returns to the Most High that gave it.
So, like, sir, is it like when they say energy cannot be destroyed?
Yeah, it's just transformed,
Come.
or it's just transferred from one form to another.
There you go.
You understand?
That's right.
Verse 23.
Come.
No, we read that already.
Yeah.
24.
Come.
No. Hold on. For and remain forever for all usage. That's going back to what you were saying, Quiet Ball, that everything has a purpose or a usage. What's the usage of a mountain?
It's like, is it like an anchor?
That's what it is.
Yeah, come.
It anchors the land, keeps things in place. You understand?
Yeah. That's crazy.
Verse 24.
Come.
Oh, they're all obedient, meaning whatever they were created for, that's what they're going to do. If the Most High want to shift the mountain and create some new land, he can knock that mountain down.
Right.
The Himalaya mountain range was created when what we call India broke off from Africa and crashed into Asia and created what we call the Himalaya mountain range, the largest mountain range on the planet Earth.
Damn.
That's why to get from, there was only one way. There was something called the Silk Road. There was only one main way to get from the Middle East to China for trade. Because you didn't want to go across, you didn't want to trade and climb the Himalayas to get to China. So there was the Silk Road, they used to call it, right? So this is the creation. Everything has a purpose.
It's a lot. What I was going to say, it was the same thing. I was reading in Daniel how Nebuchadnezzar had changed Daniel's name into
Never listen, I'm a Shabbat.
into this weird name.
Maxis, priest, and Shabbat.
He changed, but he come to find out, so he changed his name into the God that was Nebuchadnezzar's God. So you know, make a long story.
Shabbat something like that.
Make a long story short.
And it had a meaning to it.
Right.
But it was really a title.
Yeah, but to Nebuchadnezzar, it was his. He just because he gave him that name, he thought it was his God that revealed dream and everything about,
Most
you know what I'm
High,
saying? About
I dig what
Daniel.
you're saying.
But the what I was getting to was this dude ended up making a statue, right? He ended up making a statue, and the Most High was so vexed that it said that he broke a piece of, he called it a rock, but it ended up being a mountain. You know what I mean? And like threw it down, and it crushed this, it crushed this thing into damn dust.
Powder.
Yeah, to powder. You know what I'm saying? And it said that the Most High did it without his hand. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it didn't take a lot of work.
Right. You know what I'm
Without
saying?
him, I mean, it wasn't.
This how powerful the Most High is.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? So I was just thinking about that when you said, "Oh, what a mountain's used for."
Yeah.
Mountains, you know what I mean?
Whatever
Shit
the
to
Most
destroy-
High
right?
wanted.
Whatever he wanted, because he could destroy things with it. You know?
Right.
Yep.
Read 24. This is heavy right here.
Come on. Book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 42, verse 24. All things are double one against another, and he hath made nothing imperfect.
You understand? All things are double one against another, and he hath made nothing imperfect.
That's right.
So there's a scripture that we're going to come to that's going to explain this a little further. So I'm not going to give it up yet.
Yeah.
But he made one, all things are double, one thing against another. And he had made nothing imperfect. You understand? Read on.
Come on, verse 25. One thing establisheth the good or another, and who shall be filled with withholding his glory?
You understand? So I'm gonna break it all down in just a minute, because it's two scriptures that I want to bring out first, then we're gonna bring it down. Give me 2nd Ezra 6 and 41. And you get Ecclesiasticus 33 and 14.
Come on.
That's 2nd Ezra 6 and 41. Ecclesiasticus.
Oh, come on.
Ecclesiasticus. I'm not trying to say it sounds smart or anything like that, because I'm not. But I do understand what the Most High has done. And I do understand that he gave us the information. I'm just a regular dude. You understand? But he gave us this information.
Damn right.
And we have to know it to prove what he's saying is correct and true. You understand? That's why we do these classes in Isupk.
That's right.
To show that the word of God is true and good. You understand? 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 41.
It's the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 41. Upon the second day thou madest the spirit of the firmament,
Or
and
what we call the atmosphere. Read.
and commandest it to part asunder,
Right? To separate something. Read.
and to make a division betwixt the waters.
To separate the waters of the earth and outer space. Because in outer space, it's just like being in water, you float around. You understand? Shemayim. You understand? Mayan is water, right? You understand? Shemayim. Mayim, water. Shemayim, the heavens. You understand?
That the one part might go up and the other remain beneath.
You understand? So one part in the second day, remember, he's creating the atmosphere. The earth was without form. So this is going back to Genesis. Just hooks up with Genesis. And so now he's telling you how he separated. He separated the waters, or Shemayim and Mayim. You understand? Right? Read on.
Verse 42. Upon the third day thou didst command that the waters should be gathered in the seventh part of the earth.
You understand? So now he's separating the water from the land. You understand? And the earth, right, is 1/3 land and 2/3 water, right?
Okay.
Read on.
6 parts has thou dried up and kept them, to the intent that of these some being planted of God and till might serve thee.
So, it meaning he made dry land so things could live on it.
Right.
That he could make fruits and people and animals. That one might sow seed and build their own. Even though there was life in the water first. But remember what he said, that life started in the sea and then moved to land, right? You got that?
Okay.
Okay, so read, what was that, 42?
Okay.
Skip to 45.
Book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 45. Upon the 4th day, thou commandest the sun shall shine, and the moon give her light, and the stars should be in order.
So now the elements are formed.
Right.
And now the things that are going to be, that's going to cause us to be able to measure time are now in place. Right? Read on.
Verse 46. And gavest them a charge to do service unto man.
Hold up. Let's stop right there. See, you got to understand, because the Most High wants us to be grateful. And what we just read was that he made all of these things, the universe, the stars, everything, and gave them charge to do service unto man for you. So when we read in this same chapter that the world was made for our sakes, you understand, that's what it's talking about. All of these things were made for our benefit, for our sake, right? For our sake. Read on.
Okay. Verse 47. Upon the 5th day thou settest unto the 7th part, where the waters were gathered.
You understand? That's going back to what he was saying in verse 42, right? Read on.
That it should bring forth living creatures.
You understand? So he created the water in the oceans to bring forth living creatures. That what we know now later moved onto land. That is scientific fact before there were any scientists.
Can I get that food?
Sure. Read 48.
It was a little bit more on that.
Okay, Slack it. Finish that.
Creatures, fowl, and fishes, and so it came to pass. Verse 48. For the dumb water and without life brought forth living things at the commandment of God.
You understand? So the things, the dumb waters, meaning the water didn't know nothing.
Right.
It was just water. You understand? The water didn't know nothing, but the Most High made the water to bring forth life, because life began in the water. Read on.
That all people might praise thy wondrous works.
You understand? Meaning all of these things was created that, and when we think about it, and we consider the creation and the wondrous thing that it is, that we should give the Most High credit for it. To hell with any scientist, I don't give a damn what he did.
Right.
You understand? If the Most High didn't give you the skill or the reasoning to do it, you understand what I'm saying? It would have never been done. That's the point. Right? So now, where my shovel?
He outside.
Oh, okay. Give me what was that? Give me Ecclesiasticus 33 and 14 about the show. Most High is the supreme scientist. That's what we talk about here. Understand? That's what we talk about. Come on.
It's the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 33 and verse 14. Good is set against evil, and life against death. So is godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly.
So now, remember when we was reading that he made things in twos, right? And one is against the other. Okay, so when we finish, I just want to ask a question here. I want you to read 14 and 15 all the way through.
It's the book of Ecclesiasticus, Salaki, chapter 33 and verse 14. Good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. Verse 15. So look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are two and two, one against another.
You understand? So in one word, this particular scripture here and the other one, it talks about when we read in about everything being in twos, right? So I'm just asking the question. If you can describe this in one word, what would that word be?
In one word?
In one word. If you can describe what we just read in one word, he said, good is set against evil, life against death. So is godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. So look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are two and two, one against the other. I'm gonna give you 5 seconds.
Man.
It's a one word that I know when I say it, you're gonna say, "Oh, that's what it is." It's very simple. It starts with a B. Mm-hmm. Okay, for time's sake, I'm gonna give it to you. What this is talking about, the Most High says that he hates an unjust, he hates an unjust balance.
Balance, a lot.
What this is about is how everything is balanced. To get proper balance, you need, right, you have one over here, you have positive and negative, life and death, good and evil, man and woman, sinner and sinner. The man is the giver, the woman is the receiver. So in everything in the creation, it's two. One set against the other. It doesn't mean that they're working against each other. What it's talking about is, but between the two things is balance. It's balance. That's what he's talking about. One against the other, meaning one balance holds the other one up. The Most High hates an unjust balance. Things that are unbalanced usually don't work too well. You understand? All of these things are scientific concepts if you understand what he's doing. And what he's saying here is that everything that he created it in a balance, one against the other. And I know some of this seems kind of wild, but when you look at an atom, right, or a molecule, you have the positive and the negative, right? You understand? You got solid and gas. You understand? Everything is opposite of one another, but they all work together in a balance. So when he formulated the elements, it was with a balance to make the things the way that they are, to complete the creation. And Salakia, all I'm trying to do here is show you that science, you understand, is within the truth, and that the Most High is the supreme scientist. That's the whole point, right? So now, give me Job 38 and 16. Now, this is going to expound on a scripture that we brought out earlier in the class, right? Okay, let me see what we got in the class. Okay, so we got daughter of Zion, Shalom sis, Yahweh Shema done by Shem Shai. We got Sister Thayallah, and we got daughter of Zion again. We got Sister Nashama. Hey, Shalom to all the sisters. Must be ladies' night or something. But I appreciate the sisters for tuning in. I appreciate it because hey, Shalom. You know, Shalom. It's good to see you, brother. So tonight the topic is Yahawah, the supreme scientist. Right? So give me Job 38 and 16. Job 38 and 16, choir bar. And I want you who just walked in the class. No. You get me Baruch 6 and 59.
Okay.
You're gonna read two scriptures. Hey, Shalom, Lord of Christ. You're gonna read two scriptures in Job, right? So we're gonna get 38 and 16 first. Bob the shot.
It's the book of Job, chapter 38, verse 16. Hast thou entered into the springs of the sea? Or hast thou walked in the search of the depth?
So once again, this is a scientific secret being revealed in the Bible thousands of years before. What it's talking about is the springs under the ocean, which just within them, they've just discovered that in the last 50, 60 years.
Okay.
But here it is in the Bible.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, how did Job know this? Because the Most High taught him. Hast thou entered into the springs of the sea? Or hast thou walked in the search of the depths? Have you been to the bottom of the ocean? And remember, we read in the earlier scriptures that there was great caverns and mountains under the sea, which man just found this out in the last 100 years.
Real quick sidebar. They doing too much. Remember them cats that went down there in that submarine? Yeah,
I laugh at them.
They went down there and blew up.
Yeah.
They didn't even know they blew up.
They said, yeah, they didn't even have
They
time
blew
to
up
think.
so fast.
Yeah. They said they turned into a gel.
Yeah,
Like they was crushed under. I hate to see the demise. I'm not trying to make the death of men funny, but that was crazy. And these was rich men.
Right.
They thought they had figured out the depths of the sea.
Minding the Lord business.
Yep. And they went down there in a aluminum can. And that death, man, was horrible, man. Like, when I read it, it was so instantaneous, like that they turned into like a gel within a second. Like a glob of blood or something. I remember that. So now, give me Job 28, 5 and 6. No, you give it for me. You and Job already.
Yeah.
He's holding, what I need you to hold is Baruch 6 and 59.
I believe to Baruch only got 5 chapters. It's like, at least that's what I see.
Well, I got 6 chapters in my book. Does it have, hold on a second, let me get there a second. You get what you get, hold on a second. So it might be do you have the letter of Jeremy?
Nah, because this is the Bible app. I got a second Bible app.
All right, so then I'll get Choir Bar to read that, okay? Okay. Okay, so what was that again? That was Baruch, right?
6 and 59.
Twice. It was, I'm sorry, I'm just, okay, Baruch 6 and 9. So
6 and 9.
it's Baruch chapter 6 and verse 59. So it might be Hold on a second. Let me get there with you. Okay. Yeah, I got it. You have the Epistle of Jeremy, which is really Baruch 6.
Okay, I do. I have the letter. Is it the letter of Jeremiah?
Yeah. That read verse 59 there.
How come?
Because in my book is under.
Salaki.
Well, we got this is a teaching moment, right? Because Baruch was under Jeremiah.
It was under Jeremiah. Salaki.
Right. So remember, all scriptures are from the inspiration of the Most High.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
So you got that?
Kawakam.
Read it.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 6, verse 59. Therefore, it is better to be a king that showeth his power, or else a profitable vessel in a house, which the owner shall have use of, than such false gods, or to be adored in a house to keep such things safe as be therein.
No, that's saying something different.
Where we at? You said 6 and what?
59. 59.
That's it. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what it says?
Yeah,
Well, mine says something totally different. Okay, so we're going to skip that. That's wild. 6 and 59, right?
In the letter of Jeremiah is the same thing. Therefore, it is better to be a king that showeth his power.
Let me see what you got, Quad. That's crazy. Because in my book, that's verse 58 in my book.
That's 58.
Yeah.
Salaki.
So I don't get it.
59 and say, for sun, moon, and stars being bright and sent to their offices are obedient.
To do their office are obedient, meaning they were created for a purpose. They have a job. Their office, it's okay, brother. It's okay. Just get your napkin if you need one. Okay? Oh, he just dropped his drink. Yeah. Just help the little brother. Right? Good job, good job. So, for the sun, moon, and stars being bright and sent to do their offices. Is that 70 in your book or 60?
It's 60.
Okay, so they off by 1 in my book.
I see. It's a lot.
That's crazy, man. I gotta, wow.
It's a water factor.
Read 60 in your book. Read that.
So like this is the Baruch 6 and 60. For sun, moon, and stars, being bright and sent to do their office, are obedient.
Right, they are obedient, meaning with their job, they were sent to do a job. Right? They were sent to do a job. You understand? And they're obedient, meaning they always do their job.
That's right.
Right? Read on.
Verse 61. In like manner, the lighting, when it breaketh forth, is easy to be seen. And after the same manner, the wind bloweth in every country.
So what he's talking about here is that all the things that God created have a purpose, and they have a job and a purpose, which we read about earlier, right? So now, give me Jeremiah 31 and 35. What we're learning here and what we're reading about here is that the Most High is the supreme scientist. And he's given us the knowledge of how he created things and why they were created. And that everything that he created had a purpose. In a lot of the scientific concepts that are used in science today was revealed in the Bible before they had what we call scientists. And we've already proven that.
That's right.
You understand? When he said that life began in the water and moved to the ground, they just discovered that within the last 200 years.
Right.
It was a theory. But the Most High says it clearly in the Bible, that life began in the waters and moved to the ground. right? So go ahead and read that, brother.
Khan, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, verse 35. Thus saith the Lord, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinance of the moon and the stars for a light by night.
So here, right, the Most High is telling you what the job of the moon and the ordinances of the moon. The ordinance is the function thereof, right, of the moon and of the stars for a light by night. Read on.
Which divided the sea when the waves therefore roared. The Lord of hosts is his name.
So what he's saying is that the sun, moon, and the stars has an influence on the tides of making the motion of the sea to come back and forth to keep it in balance. You understand?
That's right.
You understand? And this is tied. Read verse 36.
Khan, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, verse 36. If those ordinances depart from before me, saith the Lord, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever.
So remember, he set these things in ordinance in order to do a specific job. And Israel is going to be a nation until the functions of the heavens and the earth cease. You understand? That's heavy. So now, give me Ecclesiasticus chapter 38. We're going to read verses 4 and 12. Ecclesiasticus 38, chapter 4 and verse 12. Ecclesiasticus chapter 4.
Ready?
Eyes ready. Go ahead, brother.
Most High Christ. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, chapter 4, verse 12. He that loveth her.
Read verse 4, 38, read verse 4. Ecclesiasticus
38.
You're going to read verse 4 and then verse 12.
And then verse 12.
Right.
Verse 4. So right here, Ecclesiasticus 38, 4.
Ecclesiasticus
38, 4.
Yeah.
Khan, this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 38, verse 4. The Lord hath created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them.
So here, right, like every medicine on the planet Earth comes from the planet Earth or from plants, or even fruits, or even bark. Understand? So here it is, the Most High is saying that he created medicines out of the earth. So even medicine was created as part of the creation, and that those plants or those things that medicines are derived from, that are taken from, you understand, is their portion, is their ordinances, is what they are made for. He created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them. Meaning, you won't hate medicine. If you need medicine, you'll take it for the purpose that is needed for.
That's right.
You won't abuse medicine.
Right.
You understand? Because the word abhor is an action word.
Right.
So if you need medicine, you should take the medicine that you need.
That's right.
And don't hate medicine. I remember a long time ago, there was I think it was Jehovah's Witness. And that Jehovah's Witness child, you gotta leave, Most High Christ. That Jehovah's, the water, brother, for your service. The Most High, Salaka, these Jehovah's Witnesses refused, one of their people needed a blood transplant. And they let that person die rather than give that person a blood transplant, which is not a very complicated matter today. But I always remember that. You know, that's crazy. When the Bible says that he created medicines, right, from the earth. And don't abhor the medicine, don't hate the medicine, but rather respect the medicine, right?
Right.
and the man who gives you the medicine. Read verse 12.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 38, verse 12. Then give place to the physician.
Physician.
I know that look bad. Then give place to the physician, for the Lord hath created him. Let him not go from thee, for thou hast need of him.
You know, we need doctors.
That's right.
Don't make it seem like doctors are like unnecessary. Like, that's foolish. You understand? That's foolishness. Give place to the physician. Give him the proper respect and honor. You understand? Because the Most High made him and gave him those skills to perform those functions and those duties. You understand? Right? So this is another understanding that when the Most High created everything, he included the ability for men to become physicians and doctors, because he knew that people were going to need physicians and doctors.
That's right.
Give me Leviticus 17 and 11. Leviticus 17 and 11. What we're showing here is that the Most High is the supreme scientist in the earth, in the universe. Selassie.
That's right.
Leviticus 11 and 17.
17.
No, 17 and 11.
Come on. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 17, verse 11. For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it unto you upon the altar, to make an atonement for your souls. For it is the blood that maketh an atonement for the soul.
So all of this is true, but the part that I want you to focus on, shalom, little brother, is that for the life of the flesh is in the blood.
That's right.
Now, this is true because even unto this day, they know that the blood carries all the nutrients, the oxygen, and everything else you need to live. Shalom. The water for coming out, and the water system for the food as well. All right, the water for y'all coming out. Appreciate y'all. Right? Okay. Give me Leviticus 13 and 46. Like we read earlier, in case you might be just tuning in, how the Most High said in Ecclesiasticus 42, in Ecclesiasticus in 2nd Ezra, how he gave us the night, Shalom says, he gave us the knowledge of all of the things that he created and what it was created for and how he did it, right? Hold on just a second. Slocky, give me a second. I ain't got nobody to take over. Shalom. So, as I was saying, the Most High is the greatest scientist, and that's what we're showing you here today.
That's right.
And that scientific concepts and knowledge that they've just discovered within the last 100 or 200 years or even 50 years was already present in the Bible. We've demonstrated that as well. So give me Leviticus 13 and 46.
Yahawah, this is the book of Leviticus, chapter 13, verse 46. All the days wherein the plague shall be in him, he shall be defiled. He is unclean. He shall dwell alone. Without the camp shall his habitations be.
So what this is talking about simply is quarantine. Like the Most High taught us how to quarantine and exterminate and eliminate diseases. This is way before any medical texts, any scientists. You understand? This is what the Most High, all the days wherein the plague shall be in him, meaning the disease, he shall be defiled, meaning he's unclean.
Right.
He shall dwell alone without the camp. He won't live among people to spread the disease. He is going to be living outside of the place where people live. Of course, during those days, they were sleeping in tents, so it was called a camp, right? So he can't live amongst the camp. He has to go out and, and deal with his illness outside of the camp. It's simply called quarantine. When people had COVID, they were quarantined.
That's right.
Understand? Any major disease, one of the first steps that they take is to quarantine you. You understand? If they would have caught that COVID over there before it got over here and quarantined it, it would have never went. And if Trump was the president at that time, don't forget that, he took it lightly and he didn't take preventative measures.
Right.
Until after it was killing people. I think COVID killed over 1 million people in the United States.
Right.
Some people that I know died from COVID. I caught COVID twice. Thank God I'm still here.
That's right. Most High Christ.
Most High Christ. So now, I'm going to show you something that's so scientific that there'll never be an argument against it. So give me Numbers chapter 1. The book of Numbers chapter 1, and we're going to read. Okay. We're going to read verse 2 and verse 18.
Yahawah, this is the book of Numbers, chapter 1, verse 2. Take ye the sum of all the congregation of the children of Israel, after their families, by the house of their fathers, with the numbers of their names, every male by their poll.
Now read 18, and then I'm going to break it down.
Yahawah, this is the book of Numbers, chapter 1, verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers.
We're going to stop right there. Talking about his seed. And to my knowledge, the only thing that I've ever read about that's absolute, that never ever changes, is the science of a seed.
Right.
Meaning every seed will bring forth the same fruit that it came from.
Damn right.
This is what we're reading here is science, but people, how is this science? Every seed. If you have an apple tree, you're going to get apples every time.
Right.
An apple tree is never going to produce an orange. So this is an absolute science where there's no deviance, no deviation from the operation. Every seed produces its like kind. That's perfect science. It doesn't change. That's why, until this day, you're an Israelite according to the seed of your father.
Right.
Don't care what color you are. Don't care what color your eyes are. I don't care what color your hair is. What's the texture of your hair.
Right.
If your father is an Israelite, you're an Israelite.
Damn right.
A really good example is, what's that basketball player? He's a Haitian.
Blake Griffin.
Yeah, Blake Griffin. You can see some black in him, but he married a white woman, and he has a son that looks even more white than him.
Right.
But that boy is an Israelite.
That's right.
Because his father and his grandfather are Israelites. So when they try to get us and corner us into colorism, like, don't fall for that. You understand what I'm saying? He said that the Most High made us from the dust of the ground, right? Different shades of brown, even like brown.
Right.
You understand? They even got some pinkish brown.
They got some red in there. You got that little red bone on it.
You understand? So all of these things are science, right? Now, give me Luke. We got a couple of minutes. I think we can get all of these in. Give me Luke 12:7. Because what is science? Science is measurement, mathematics, right? That's what science really is. When they come to scientific discovery, it has to have an equation in order for it to be true, or for it to be acceptable as true science. You understand? There's a measurement or a correctness level within science that makes it true, right? So read this, brother.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 4. And I say unto you, my friends, be not afraid of them that can kill the body. Am I reading right?
No, Luke 12:7.
7. Salakia. I didn't read it wrong. Salakia.
I get ready to say, damn, here we go again.
I know. Luke 12:7. Salakia. But even the very hairs on your head are numbered, are all numbered. Salakia. Fear not, therefore, ye are of more value than any sparrow.
You understand? So this is when he's telling them that he feeds everything, even the birds are fed, right? But what he's saying here is that even the number of hairs on your head is counted, it's numbered. You understand? That's talking about mathematics, man. Everything is measured. That's what it's talking about. Everything has a number. The Most High is the supreme scientist, man. It was a scripture. I don't know if we brought that one out. Did we skip one?
Salakia. You recall how it went?
It's talking about how he measured everything. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I think that might have left that one out. But it was there's a scripture about how he measured everything. Okay, I'm gonna have to add that the next time I teach this class. I gotta find it first. Okay, so now, one of the dumbest things that I ever come across in my life, and this is no exaggeration, is that people were having an argument over whether the earth was flat or was it in a circle or was it round, right? So give me Isaiah 40:22. And then I'm going to give you, you understand, some supporting information that existed in the Bible and that most of the world already knew, right? Most of the world already knew this information. But some people, especially cave people, they didn't know this until the last 500-600 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know.
They thought you would sail and fall off the earth. They said they might have known it for the last 1,000 years.
Maybe.
But maybe.
Right.
But go ahead and read that.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 22. It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth.
It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth. Now, I'm in 41. I'm just ahead of myself. it is he that sitteth upon the circle, right? So a circle could be flat, it could be round, but it's a circle, right?
Right.
But this is what I want to add to it, right? So we read how, you understand, the earth, you understand, has cycles, right? And we know that on one side of the earth is dark and the other side is light according to the position of the sun. You understand what I'm saying? We know scientifically the circumference of the earth, circumference of the earth, and the diameter of the earth. So all I'm saying is this: with all of this information and even photographs and scientific objects that orbit the earth and take photographs of the earth every damn day. And in 2026, people are still talking about the earth is flat. That is absurd. That's ignorance on a high level. Okay, y'all. I'm just going to say this. We got one more. Give me Job 36 and 27, and we're going to clip it. And what I'm trying to show, and what we're showing here, according to the Bible, that the science of creation and the way things work and the matter and how matter was formed, the Most High gives us a general idea on how it was done.
That's right.
And he tells us that he allotted us this knowledge, this information, right? Before there were any scientists. Like some of the things that were read today in this class, like, was not known until the last 100 years or so. You understand? So that's just talking about, that's proving the word of God. You got a question, little sis? Come on, give her the mic. Oh, she got the mic. She's ready today. Come on. Can black people be racist? Okay. To be racist, you have to have power.
Correct.
Racist, in the term that they use it today, means you have power over other groups or other races. And you exert that power over them, you understand, for your own benefit, right? But, let me try to explain it the best way. The real definition of racist is that you just choose one race, you favor one race over the other. That's the true definition of racist. I like this race, I don't like that race. That's a racist. But it doesn't make you evil, because every race loves its own race.
That's right.
So everybody, if you're a black man and you love black people, if you love blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, by definition, you're a racist. But it's not evil. What's evil is oppression.
Right.
So ask me your second question. Okay, meaning she's asking, the little sister's asking, is the Isupk racist? And I'm trying to explain it to her the best way I can. Like, being a racist is not bad.
Right.
You understand? Because racist just means you favor one race, your race, over others. And the Most High chose Israel over all the other races. So in effect, you could say that the Most High is racist because he chose one race. He favored one race over another. The word racist, in its true form, its true definition, is not evil. It's just that you choose one race over the other. You favor one race over the other. You understand? I think you do. because you choose your race over other races, right? Is that bad? If you love your people more than you love other people, is that bad? So by definition, everybody is a racist. But racism is when you oppress other races. That's when it becomes evil. You become an oppressor. You understand? You understand the difference? Okay, so it's favoritism. Yeah, it's right. That's very good. She said it's like loving blue more than you love red. You understand? It's almost that simple. You understand what I'm saying? Just that human beings are a little bit more complicated, but that's the right way of thinking, because the Most High chose Israel above all the nations, and we teach that the Most High is racist, meaning he chose one race over another. So the word racist is not inherently, or is not evil per se. It's how you apply your racism. It's how you apply it, right?
Like you saying that is just means taking a liking to, like a pianist.
Yeah.
Like a pianist likes pianos.
You chose one race over the other.
Yeah.
So you understand? And like I'm just saying it because the Most High chose one race over all the other races.
That's right. That's right.
So I don't have no problem with the word racist because I understand what it means. But racist doesn't mean you're oppressive.
Right. What's that? When you systematically can oppress, and you can stop people from getting jobs, you can stop them from being
Understand? You have racist and you have racism. Racism is the practice. Racist is just a choice.
How calm.
You understand? Like red and blue. You choose red over blue. Does that make you a colorist?
Yeah, right. You a colorist.
Okay, so that was an excellent question. Right? I hope my answer was sufficient. Okay, y'all. We out of time. The Most High is the supreme scientist.
That's right.
He gave us access to knowledge to understand everything. He said the nature of animals, everything. He wanted us to understand all of that. You understand what I'm saying? Because the Most High said that we were destroyed for lack of knowledge.
Right.
How can you be destroyed for lack of knowledge when he offered you all of this knowledge? He gave it to you and you rejected it.
Right.
And since you rejected knowledge, that's what he said. And since you reject knowledge, I'm going to reject you.
Right.
Because if you want to be in rulership, if you want to be an authority, you have to know something. You have to know how to rule. You have to know judgment. You have to know the nature of the creation, because judgment is within the creation as well. Judgment is within the nature of human beings. But we have to know the good judgment, and the Most High has provided us with that.
Right.
You understand? Okay. Once again, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I know this was kind of almost a sideways type of class, but it just came to me to do it. You know what I'm saying? And I did it. And you have all of these scriptures that you can read, because if you're wise, you write them down. And if you can write them down, and you can get other opinions on it. If you don't understand something, you can call Captain Nagta. You can call the generals. You can do anything. But I read those scriptures and I presented them to you with the best breakdown that I could. And some of them were not hard at all.
That's right.
They were not. The Most High is the supreme scientist. Everything that they call science, the Most High put in place for them to work. Just like he gave the physician expertise in medicine and provided the medicine for him. You understand? So has the Most High created all materials for scientific study.
Right.
And with that, I'm going to thank you once again for tuning in. And we're going to say shalom. You understand? And we're going to end the class with that. Okay. We are the ISUPK. Started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yahawah. And since 1969, the ISUPK has been teaching the truth of the Bible. And that truth includes the fact that so-called black, so-called Hispanic, so-called First Nation people are the true Jews, the Israelites, the lost sheep of the house of Israel, God's chosen people, the future rulers of the planet Earth. So, I guess I'm gonna have to do security announcement. This is the first time, maybe the first time that the teacher had to do this. My Shamar is busy elsewhere. We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West 125th in Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yahawah. New rule: when a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18 and 21 in Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10, means 10th in the Hebrew, and is pronounced ma'asharah. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, you give to the treasury department or the teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation, I believe it's the feast, or is it the Day of Atonement or the Feast of, I have to get back to you. I can't recall what the next feast is. It's in September, I believe. No, it's something before the Day of Atonement. Something before the Day of Atonement. I got it. Look on that calendar right there. Is that calendar up to date? The one over there. Hold on just a second, y'all. Is that?
It is blowing the trumpet. September, Sunday the 21st.
Right. It's the Feast of the Blowing of the Trumpets. Oh, I think it's September 21st. Right. The Feast of the Blowing of the Trumpets is like a week or so before the Day of Atonement. So that's the upcoming Holy Convocation. Remind Akim and Akwakian to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and material. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he should start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. Okay, we don't have to salute me today because there's no Shamar right here, but we are going to rise and salute the sisters. Okay? Men of Israel, Amajim, turn and face the sisters. Men of Israel, Imajim, Shabbat, Imajim, Barak, Yahawah, Shema, Aladan, Bahashem, Yahweh, Yajim, class dismissed. Why again?